Yes.
Just wonder if you could talk a minute about what the experiences of writing a book. I mean, you talked a bit about what it's like getting to the end in that last month, but you've immersed yourself in a different world and people's lives, and then all of a sudden it's over. So I wondered what that feels like for you.
Well, actually, by the time you've written the book, I've really written it as I've been going along 30 times, 40 times. And then you send the book in, and then it comes back to you with the editor's suggestion. So you write it, you do that. Then it goes out again, and it comes back with the copy editors, which I love, by the way. That's my favorite part, because someone else, that's the person who will tell you, well, mayonnaise wasn't invented until 1933. So you can do that. I mean, that's, and if John Haskell was 41 in 1899, he cannot be 45 in, 1919. That's the kind of, I love that. I love the grammar. I love the fact that it's someone else is putting the hot focus of their attention on a book the same. So by the time I'm done with this, I am so done. I am done. What is difficult is when I write in the daytime. I write in the morning from about 8 to 12:30. I have written 16 books, and I have never found a way to make the transition from writing into the real world. It is an awful, awful time for me. And I have tried, I've tried to have routines. I'm hungry, so I eat my lunch, and then I have my shower, and then maybe I go for a walk, but I can't. Pulling out takes about 2 hours. And, as my husband would tell you if he were here, we don't have in conversations about important things between noon and 12:30 and 2:30, because I'm just, first of all, I can't concentrate, and second of all, I'm really not in a good mood. And then I'm fine. I've never written a word after 5 o'clock. I'm pretty sure about that.
Why not write from 8 until you feel like stopping?
Oh, I do. No, I know exactly when to stop. It's not because it's 12:30 on the clock. It's because I feel it. That's the one thing I've learned, that if I write after that point when I sense it should end, it's not worth keeping.
Hi, you just answered some of my questions. I'm just wondering, when you talk about writing, when high school and you're taught to write in that, you're always told to write an outline of a story. Now, do you have a good sense of what's going to happen? Or I'm always curious, or does it just happen as you're writing it, that the story evolves?
I used to outline pretty completely for the first dozen books, I guess. And I almost always knew my ending. And sometimes around page 50 or 60 or something, the actual sentences of the ending would come to me, and I would write them down. Or a whole paragraph would come to me, and I would write it down. So I had a destination. I didn't necessarily know how I was going to get there, and you cannot predict that, because the strangest things happen. You have a character, and that character is in a dialogue with someone else, and the character will say something pretty unexpected, and you veer off 5 degrees from what you thought was going on. And then another thing will happen, and you're veering off all over the place. And that's really what creates a whole full-blooded character. But now, lately, I think with Rescue, I did not know the ending. I didn't know it.
And how do you feel about it?
I felt it ended, I can't talk about this, but I feel that it ended at it was the proper ending for it.
Hi,
Yes.
Anita. Have you ever, or maybe even now, experienced times where you're writing and you just feel like you have a little voice telling you it's not good enough? And if so, how do you get it to shut up?
You go back to the last true sentence that you wrote. You can pretty quickly tell when you've gone off in a tangent that is really not a worthy tangent and is not going to, or you can tell when you haven't dug deeply enough and you're writing on the surface and you haven't really shown that character or that situation as fully as you could. You go back to the last true sentence, the one that you felt it was integral and organic, and then you just start from there. You learn, this is something as you write more books that you learn what's false. It's not like you're cutting out 30 pages, it's like you're cutting out maybe a page and a half. I have dropped 100 pages. The most I dropped was 120 pages because I realized that I'd started the wrong book. I started the book in the wrong place. And so it was gone. And you have to do that. You absolutely have to do that. Kids, when they write, I don't know if this is, they think that every sentence is precious, and they can't bear the idea of revision. I mean, it's almost unbearable. And I think new writers, when they come to it, one of the mistakes they make is that they've gone down a wrong path, and they can't realize it, and they can't bear to give it up. But I think you have to be pretty ruthless. A last question from anyone?
Right here.
Hi. I just noticed in most of your books you make some reference to Canada, and I was just wondering if you had ever lived, if you traveled to Canada. I just noticed you always somehow mention a province or something.
Wow. No one's ever said that before. I have never thought about
Quebec.
it.
Yeah.
Quebec?
The newest one has Quebec. Rescue.
Where is Quebec in that?
Arsenault.
It's where she Christmases.
Comes from Quebec.
Oh, yeah. That's right. And in Toronto, he lives in Toronto, that book, Wedding in December, right? What else?
Oh my gosh, it's... You should hire her.
That's incredible.
Hire her.
Well, someone pointed out, I'd written about, I don't know how many books, maybe 7 or 8 or something, and someone said, why do you always have a character named Billy in your novels? And I realized it was true. There was every single novel, sometimes it was a little girl, and sometimes it was a devious lobsterman, but in every book I had a Billy, and that shocked me. But I'm very shocked. I'm actually going to go back and find the references. Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah. Wow. Okay, I think we're going to end on that incredible revelation.
I had one more question, but I'll save it for next year, for the next book.
No, ask it now.
You might regret this. We feel, as women, a lot of times you're writing for us and to us. Is that true?
No.
I knew it.
You can't write. I'll just tell you this one anecdote that will explain it. When I was writing Eden Close, my first novel, I was writing what we would now consider a very tame sex scene. And in the middle of it, I did one of these where I pushed my chair back from the desk and I said, oh my God, I can't do this. My father's going to read it. And I sat with myself and thought about that. And I thought, I can't worry about what he thinks. I can't worry about what my husband thinks. I can't worry about what my kid thinks. I can't write for my editor. I can't write for Hollywood. I can't write for anybody, even my readers. Because once I do that, I am self-editing before I even get the sentence on the page. So you really, in a very strange way, you write for yourself. It's the kiss of death if you start thinking about people.
Anita Shreve. Anita Shreve.
Thank you.